Hi, I'm Elemi from Yeyeo Botanica. Welcome back. It's so great to see you all. Thank you so much for sharing us with others and coming back. Remember, we're www.Yeyeo, and we're a spiritual and wellness supplier, which is why I do videos about all things spiritual. And I'm Elemi. Today, I want to shout out all my people from Hawaii. Woohoo! Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing us with others. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about sleep paralysis. Sometimes we hear about sleep paralysis, but I don't think some people really know what happens. So today we're going to talk about sleep paralysis, and I'm going to give you a few remedies that maybe you want to try to deal with sleep paralysis. So let's get started. So sleep paralysis is something that many people experience, and sometimes they're not even clear on what's really happening to them. And if you're a person that experienced sleep paralysis, comment below. I'm dying to hear what you say, what it was like for you, maybe if you got rid of it, how did it go away? I want to know, and so does all the other viewers. I want to share with you just what is it, what are some of the spiritual indicators behind sleep paralysis, and some things that you can do to alleviate that. So some people say that, and medically they say that it's a form of narcolepsy, people who are having issues with narcolepsy, not falling asleep, having issues with sleeping, body movements while they're sleeping, all these different medical or diagnosed reasons causes it. Some people who have sleep apnea deal with sleep paralysis as well. But most times when people realize that they're having sleep paralysis, it's usually they're partially awake, they're falling asleep, but in my experience, most people say it's when they're waking up or when they're partially awake, they realize that they're having this paralysis. Oftentimes when we're in REM sleep, which means rapid eye movement, that's really when you're deep in sleep, really dreaming and so on, that's oftentimes when it really sometimes starts to set in for people. And so this is one of the reasons why it's thought of as a disorder, or there's something really going on with the person that is not a spiritual reason why they would have sleep paralysis. But what happens most time for people is they can experience this for a minute or a few minutes where they either, one, are not able to move a body part. They may not be able to speak. They may feel like they're being held down by something. It could be that they're not able to even, when I say move a body part, anything. They can't move their face, they can't move their legs, their arms. They feel a pressure on the body, things like that. And that's one of the reasons why it's called paralysis. A fun fact, in Nigeria, it's thought of that sleep paralysis occurs more commonly with people of color than with people who are Caucasian or European. There's no scientific backing behind that, but I just thought it was really, really interesting that in that country they actually say something like that. Here are some of the reasons why a person could have sleep paralysis from a spiritual standpoint, because as you all know, I talk about spiritual things, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about what are those spiritual things, what are things to be aware of, and what are some of the actions that you can take if you're a person that's experiencing sleep paralysis. And just as a sidebar note, many times people say that when they were a child, they may have felt or had some form of sleep paralysis, but they grew out of it. Or sometimes people say they didn't have it when they were younger, but they had it when they were older, or it started at a certain time. One thing about sleep paralysis is once it starts, it takes some time to go away. And so sometimes people have to take action to get it to go away. It usually does not go away on its own. It may be reduced, but we'll talk a little bit about what those reasons could be, and then you can look at that for yourself to figure out which category you fall in. One of the first reasons spiritually why people have sleep paralysis is that there's a negative or dark energy that is with them, physically with them, attached to them, or in their aura, in their space, in their energy field. Two is that a spirit may be trying to possess the person or possessing the person, right? Animating them in some way, shape, or form to control them. The spirit may be attempting to molest the person, whether it be to possess them, to control them, or communicate with them. One of the other things that happens with sleep paralysis is if a person is a traveler, a sleep traveler, a teleporter, things like that, sometimes they can have sleep paralysis as a result of being a transporter, a person who is doing out-of-body experiences. And so we could say, well, dreaming is a form of out-of-body. I think you guys know what I mean. Overall, from a spiritual standpoint, sleep paralysis is not thought of as being positive. And so even if it's one of your guides or a spirit that is around you or with you that is trying to communicate with you, it's still not positive because it's limiting you from your own free will. I'm sure there could be many more reasons, but those are some of the main reasons that you could find why people are having sleep paralysis. So some actions that you need to take if you're having this or you know someone who's having it to be able to alleviate that. One, you need to take very, very strong spiritual cleansing, and not one day. I would say a couple of days or once a week over a long period of time. Strong spiritual cleansing. We're talking about strong herbs for breaking, unhexing, things like that. Because if it's a spirit that is attached to the person, you need to be able to have something strong enough to pull it off of your aura, right? Or pull it out of your energy field. Two, need to clean your space. Need to do a strong clearance in your space. Whatever that looks like for you, but something that will move out vibrations. We have something called chasing powder or vesting powder that we sell in the store. That removes negative energies out of a space. If you'd like me to show a little demo on how to use it, I did it in one video, but I'm happy to show you again. Comment below. When you have the opportunity to find out from someone, what kind of spirit is this? What is this thing? You want to enlighten the spirit, doing spiritual exercises to enlighten the spirit so that they are not being attached to you or wanting to be so dominant with you, right? Or the person, whoever it is that's ailing from sleep paralysis. And then the last one that I would suggest in something to do is to, when you investigate the type of spirit that it is, you need to have someone remove it if you're not able to do it yourself. And I almost can guarantee you if it's a spirit that is molesting you in some way or molesting the person in some way, the chances of them removing it themselves is maybe 50-50. If they've done very strong cleansings and that has not removed it, it may have weakened it but not removed it, then you need to go to someone who can actually take the spirit off and possibly investigate what is the spirit. It could be that this energy is in the space in which you live. Example, I had a client years ago who lived across from a cemetery and was doing a lot of spiritual work for themselves, candles and baths and doing all these things, and that attracted energies from the cemetery. So there are a lot of great people in the cemetery, but there are also quite a few people who are not enlightened. So that's just something to keep in mind. So remember, if you got a lot out of this video, something to share, give me a thumbs up, hit the bell for notifications, and to be in the know, in the description box below, become a part of my exclusive YouTube family list. And see you next time. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like us, share us with others, give me a thumbs up, hit the bell for notifications, and come visit us in the store. Check us out on all social media. See you next time.